Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show. And I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, beloved heart. Welcome back to another episode of my podcast. I am your host, Monica Bermudez, and I have a special message about the 7/7 portal activation that we are in for a treat of cosmic galactic events going on, especially for this month of July and moving forward, as we approach the August of Lionsgate Portal, which is another big galactic portal as well. And so all of these are connected with one another. You have the Lionsgate. We had the 7/7 portal, which is to me a very significant number. I would say it's like an initiatory path to the Lionsgate, because the Lionsgate does open up early. It's not necessarily just, um, I would say, like on August 8th, it's when the energy is heightened, but it still remains a bit open, the portal. And in a sense, the energy is building up starting July 7th, which is the other portal of activation. So we'll get into, some of this ceremonial activation as well as part of this episode special. So lately, well, the energies have felt, much more, they just seem to be increasing significantly more so than ever at a much more quantum pace. The timelines definitely feel like they're more accelerated and in different parallel, different realities that we're living in a way. But the key is to keep ourselves within, our highest timeline of our highest outcome and what is, in connection to our soul's timeline and purpose in that way, what we all came here to do here on earth that we agreed to do. So this portal though of 7/7, July 7th of 2025 it means a mirror to the soul. And so I'm also going to tie it in with a recent documentary that I watched. It was on HBO's, and it's a story about a celebrity from, I believe, from the 50s or maybe the 60s, who was very famous. Her name was Jane Mansfield. And they had a documentary. Her daughter actually did a documentary on her. I never heard of her. It's my first time, hearing about this celebrity. But it actually made me reflect on a lot when it comes to like self-image and self authenticity, and where we're being called from our heart as well. Um, you know, actually, eventually, like in the 50s and the 60s was probably a very tough time, tough period, right, to be your true self. Because of the way the media and Hollywood still is about image, right? And I'll get into some of that talk because it all ties into this portal as well. And the other big cosmic event for this portal is that Uranus is going to ingress into like 0 degrees of the zodiac sign of Gemini. Yeah, so the 0 point, field of recreation or reinvention. When you bring in the Uranus, and by the way, when astrologers talk about ingress, it means like it's a new cycle, it's a whole new theme of, the collective energy. Because the Uranus energy is very much into the shock waves. It's, I would say, describe it like an explosive planet. And then when you're putting it in Gemini, it's really about the communication in the collective. And so that means that things may accelerate even more when it comes to global communication, when it comes to global technology, artificial intelligence already exploding significantly. So this cycle happens like every 84 years or so that you get the Uranus energy getting into the sign of Gemini. Gemini being the sign of communication. It's about also about innovation and about being able to change in certain situations, right? Um, so it has many different meanings to it, but from a collective level, this is what it is, some kind of global communication going on of information overload. As we can see from now, there's a lot of information being thrown around, and AI reaching a whole other level of technology and advancement. So that's really what this whole energy is. And so it's all part of this July 7th, 2025. 7/7, cosmic portal. These are very significant events and signs of our times for this year, 2025. I mean, there's always a new theme like every year or so. So all of these, all of this information is always relevant to whenever you hear it, right? Um, so really the 7/7 portal gateway is about our inner truth and our own soul alignment and our divine remembrance. Um, Numerology of the double seven is like a cosmic mirror. It's so like, a lot of things go by cycles and they usually go by the number of cycles. Seven is significant in that way, because it represents a different cycle. So there is this cosmic mirror of reflecting our true image back to us beyond the societal reprogramming or programming in general. And so we are, remembering or mirroring ourselves back into the cosmic um, soul essence that, we're interconnected in that way, that our soul blueprint is a big part of. And it all prepares us for this Lionsgate portal of August 8th, 2025 by clearing, illusions or activating those divine templates within to reconnect us to our cosmic identity codes, our true cosmic identity codes. So, question to kick off all of this is what image have we been projecting and what image is our soul here to fully embody? And self image has been like one of my biggest things that I had to overcome long ago after I went through my, significant turning point for me was my divorce. So I really revisited so many things, like an avalanche of things that I really felt like I wanted to polish within myself to clear to, and it's always like a levels of different works, right? Especially when we're being moved into a whole different level of amplification or a whole new direction, that new things may come up that are, there to be revisited, to be as part of a test to say how solid and strong we, created those foundations as well. So foundations are a big part that are coming up right now because we are in this zodiac sign of Cancer as well. And so Cancer is really about the family and about the foundation. So if that's not very solid or strong, it will shake. And it's the same thing with like any marriage or any relationship that we have, that if there is no strong foundation, and then you have like these big bulldozers, of rocks come in, huge rocks of challenges, that it will be very hard to sustain. And then it will lead to a collapse in that. However, those foundations in a relationship that are much stronger, of course, will be able to evolve, I would say, into this whole other new level together, as a couple. So it will be looked at, in a different way of understanding with one another as far as communication is concerned. So a lot of this, with the Uranus planet that is also coming into play right now, is telling us about our liberation and our clarity and reimagining of outdated systems. And so it's so interesting that in the United States, right, because this is the weekend of the 4th of July, Um, the whole meaning behind that is about our independence and our freedom and our liberation. And so, and then we have this portal of 7-7, after the weekend. And then you have this planet Uranus that is coming in the scene, right? And play right here in this play for us, the energies that we're, feeling is telling us to be free and liberated from any aspects of us that are just like really outdated, or like stale, that are just like pretty much rotting or over boiling. So there's definitely going to be, maybe some explosive things going on in our foundations, could be with family, it could be with, other relationships, or even like in our career, right? Because if we establish certain foundations around certain careers, um, through a company or wherever it is that you've, been for years working, so many of us are being shaken in different ways, like going into a whole new other level of, our business as well. If you have your own business, or even just in general, like where you want to lead your life, where you want to go, which direction. So these are, I would say, revolutionary energy, and that's really what this Uranus energy is, a very revolutionary. It's a sudden like awakening, a sudden shaking up of amplification. And it's all tied into like our self-image. So I was telling you about like Jane Mansfield, this documentary that I watched. It's on HBO Max for those who want to see it. And so she was this big celebrity, who was known as like more, she was seen more like as this sexual like object, almost like a Marilyn Monroe image. It just seemed like they were painting her more in that role. Um, and but as it turns out that she was actually a real genius. Like she must have scored like some higher like and her genius score was like really high is what some said. But she spoke like several different languages. So to me that's already like a genius level of person who can hold that many languages. But she was a very smart person in general. And at some point in her career, she wanted to get out of this image that she was portraying, or this role of being this sexy object, let's just say, right? Um, so being sexualized, is this bombshell archetype. And so that's what, she was known for mostly. And so she wanted to make that switch. And there's even like interviews of her like trying to make that switch where she go into these um, interviews on these shows, and she would say that she wants to offer a lot more. She has a lot more to offer than just the images that she's been portraying. And every time she would say that, they would laugh at her. So pretty much mock her for, even thinking about that, because um, during a time when, I would say it was very challenging during that time to like change any type of image. I mean, women were looked at different anyways. And so there was just a lot of distortion going on as far as like image was concerned. So in a way, she had to wear like this false mask, because that was the role that she started off in playing, that role. But because she, in her heart, she was feeling that calling to switch to be seen more for her authenticity and her genius, and that she had more to offer than just being this sexualized, bombshell, which was like a false mask in a way. Um, that she ended up getting into like a bit of this depression as well. So it's really like the split between what image, you want others to see you as, versus like the soul essence and what the soul is asking, to see right now. Um, so this, is a reflection, I would say, of the expression of our collective awakening journey from the illusion to the truth, because that's really what's happening right now. And when you have these big major planets like Uranus coming in, is really just breaking or liberating ourselves from that illusion and really tapping into the truth of our own soul. So many star seeds, and light masters have also worn false masks. I've been, one of them when it comes to like the self-image of, what I'm supposed to play as a role. I can't really talk about my cosmic and galactic self as much because and especially like when it came to my family, because then it would just be frowned on and called crazy. And I have, and, that's okay. I just accepted it as a compliment now. So it's either, we want to live in our own live in diluted versions, of those lights, or, false aspects of ourselves, and playing that, role because society dictated it so. But now things are, I would say, abnormal is the new normal. So anything goes at this point, and I say that it's safe for us to come out of our starseed closet, of our light master closet, or that galactic closet that we placed ourselves, or the star seed in us wants to express itself even more so.
Unlock your limitless potential with the monthly multiversal circle of creation. This sacred quantum manifestation ritual will awaken your inner power and connect you to the successful versions of yourself across the multiverse. Clear blocks, amplify your creative energy, and set powerful intentions for abundance, love, and possibilities. Activate your galactic aspects, recalibrate your nervous system, and manifest your dreams with cosmic clarity. Available in person and via Zoom. Join us for this transformative experience today.
So, what happens though when our soul no longer fits the container we once created to feel accepted? And these are just questions for reflection and activation within ourselves. So from this, July 7th portal to the Lion's Gate, which is the arc of reclamation, right? When you bring in the Lion's Gate portal, which is the lion heart, we're talking about empowerment, about our inner strength, and, all of that is bringing back our own power, and nobody can take that away from you, and so in a way, some of us, have been leaking that power to others. So that's why, like lately, I've been feeling more expressive than usual than ever before because I feel like there was so much that was bottled inside of me that I never expressed when I was little because of repercussion or because I was going to be seen unfavorably or because somebody was holding something, on me that I wouldn't have access to. And so now I'm at that point is that I'm just going to surrender to that and just speak my voice, but I won't allow, others to step on me like a doormat anymore, or, to be told that I'm a certain way or that, I have to be a certain way, or because, I express myself as a cosmic and a galactic more so that I'm going to be, different from whatever illusion or wounds, that other people find themselves in. And I feel like so many of us, especially who are waking up, are struggling with this in a way. There's this inner conflict of battle within as you start to like wake up, into your own soul essence and your authenticity, where your heart is calling you into something different and empowering. But then you have, these other dynamics or these other different belief systems that may be holding you back or limiting you from really fully expressing yourself from that soul level. So we're going to get into, some of that as well with this 7-7 guided meditation to help you regain that, taking advantage of this portal energy for us who are listening to this. So I would say like this 7-7 is like a sacred prelude to the Lion's Gate. 7-7 is about revealing, and the Lion's Gate is about radiating that. So the timeline between that, these two is the soul reclamation arc, from shedding like old images to activating your lion heart frequency and stepping fully into your power. So now let's get into this whole guided activation or light coded transmission, guided meditation. And we're going to just get ourselves in a most comfortable position, but this is going to invite you to really release the outdated self-images, roles, and projections that you made for yourself, but also that others may have projected on you. Some of them may have been subconsciously done, or just, it's growing up in our childhood. There's things that sometimes we pick up subconsciously without realizing that they were there. Self-image was one of the biggest ones for me. And so that's one of the things that I really worked my hardest to set stronger foundations around how I see myself, even in the face of others who want to project their wounds, their pains, and their sufferings on me. And so it's easier for me to move through that much faster than it would have been like years ago. So we're going to anchor in also your true soul light and your authentic template of who you are beyond this programming, and open up this energetic field to receive the 7/7 upgrades in preparation for the Lionsgate. So as you get yourself comfortable in that position and just feeling into your heart, taking 3 deep breaths to just really relax and get into your own calmness, peace of mind, releasing any worries and fears or anything of the external world, and just really tapping within. So within your own heart, there is a space there for your own clearing as you bring in any aspects, drawing in any aspects that are outdated self-images, roles and projections from others and yourself. So just feel them coming into your own heart, into the flames of your own sacred heart, being purged, being alchemized. Any resistance or anything that you're feeling right now, let it all just come into your heart of hearts, into your cosmic heart. And we are anchoring and invoking in your true soul light in association to your authentic template, in connection to your soul. That is your true essence. In this 7/7 portal that opens within our own heart, we are receiving these upgrades, these new encodements, these new frequencies, and we feel it in our every cell. It's like a reprogramming our DNA, upgrading the crystalline codes of divine image. And these are how the cosmos remembers us, which is really in us how we see ourselves through our own cosmic eyes, through our own eyes of our own cosmic heart. So just seeing us with the eyes of the cosmic. The true divine image of us, who is already in that abundance and prosperity in every way. And so it is. And I will close with this. As we step through the 7/7 portal, may we remember who we are behind the mask. and walk boldly into the Lion's Gate of sovereign, radiant embodiments of divine truth. And so it is, and I will catch you in the next episode.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.